Hello everyone, I'm Alan, also known as McLaren 2009, and today I'm playing Derail Valley, picking up where I left off yesterday, currently at the steel mill, and when I looked at the various jobs available, I found out I wasn't getting too much outside of going back to the harbor, so that's what I'm going to do. Got a couple of jobs with steel rails going back to the harbor. Oh, there's the other one. Okay. Yeah, this one's going up to the goods factory. These two are going to the harbor. So that's a little over 50 grand. But not much else is going on other than that. Nothing else going that way. Alright, so we're going to get hooked up to these right here. So to help me with this, I have two DE6 locomotives just chilling over here in the service yard. Alright, this is the smaller one, so that one's going to go with the back, so we're getting hooked up to this one first. Alright, now the cool thing that I just found out yesterday is that if you walk over here, teleport to save a little bit of time, I found out that you can actually service both locomotives in this shed. It's like the most bizarre thing, but they actually do fit. I was able to refuel this locomotive, and the best part is I didn't even get all the way back to the bumper. So you can refuel two DE6s as the game sits right now at the steel mill, City Southwest, and supposedly someone I was talking to the other day who was streaming this as well said that apparently you can also fit two locomotives in the harbor. So once I get these dropped off, we are absolutely 100% going to test that. Alright. I don't like how that is set up. I guess realistically that probably is the safer option. Oh. Alright, I was kind of hit by an invisible wall there. Alright, now, because I found out that this was actually the better way to do it, we are going to pair this with this locomotive. Because it puts me closer to the we're going to pretend we didn't see that. It puts me closer to the back of the train. So when I'm behind it and using the remote to guide it into position, by using the rearmost locomotive, it seems to work a little bit better. It's kind of like a negligible difference, but a difference nonetheless. So let's turn that on. Now, let's turn the engine on. And, okay, perfect. Alright, so turn this back on. Alright, we might have the air pressure built up. It's literally just those two locomotives, so it should be fine. Although, generally speaking, the locomotive would prefer to be in a direction. Yeah, let's just leave it in neutral and just rev the engine to hell. There's no way that's going to cause problems. Alright, let's activate that thing. Alright, nothing's going on in chat. Okay. The thing about streaming in VR is you have to have like some kind of an overlay so that you can actually get chat notifications, have like alerts, and all that fun stuff. But the thing is, in order to get that all to function, or in order for it to stay working and not interfere with anything, I have to intermittently check this little overlay, but I hide it because so that I can still interact with the stuff in the game. I actually read through all 3 lists for what's coming in the simulator update. The current word is it's not going to be April. It's probably going to be closer to June, but nowhere on it did it say anything about fixing the track. I'm still kind of hoping that they know about these things, but I'm not holding my breath. Let me make sure this is still set up. Okay, yeah. Still getting the sound to the Rift headset and the microphone also in my headset. Alright. Now, this specific job is going to be interesting because, as you've probably already guessed, we're currently facing the wrong way. And to prevent from having to push back or shove backwards all the way to the harbor, what we're going to do is we're going to get hooked up to both cuts of cars. We're going to get back on the main, and then we are going to back up to the Y intersection on the other side of the yard. But here's where it's going to start getting a little bit crazy. We got to turn right and start heading towards the farm backwards. We're going to have to back up clear to the other side of the bridge because we're going to need a lot of space. These are not going to be light, and that will put us facing the right direction to go back to the harbor, but there's just one not so little problem. You might remember that there is a very, very steep grade on this side of that bridge. And we are going to have to get these cuts of rails up that grade. This is 912 tons. So, we're going to have to work for it. Alright, so, let's... Alright, 3's over there, 4's right there, 6 is going to be this way. Alright. Let's get out of the track so we don't get run over by our own train. And we need to go... Alright, yeah, there's 4. This is 6. Or the 4, the main is 5, and this is 6 right here. Alright, let's kill the throttle. I say kill the throttle, but it's way over there. We're not getting anywhere fast. Alright. Then we need this lined up because the next one we're getting is on 4. So, yeah, right there. And we've already lost all of our speed. All 8 kilometers an hour. Really flying. So yeah, even though they don't specifically mention fixing the tracks, I'm hoping it's at least on their radar. Alright. Because this is the heavy one, that's the light one. But I would really like to see some of these weird, like, invisible barriers removed. And then, like, other places, like back at the harbor, I think they will get fixed there because they're switching to, like, embedded, like, padded tracks. So I'm thinking it'll get fixed by default there. But other places like here, where they don't have a concrete pad, I don't know if something like this is going to get fixed. Unless, of course, they already know about the problem and it's on the list, it's just they didn't include, like, optimization and working out some kinks because it would clutter the list with stuff that would otherwise just be implied. And they only wanted to make the list about things that are actively changing. And that would also make sense to me. So, if that is in fact what they choose to do, I can't complain about that. A little bit. Alright. But yeah, I cannot say enough how very excited I am for the simulator update. This is 613. Yep, right there. Alright, let's quickly go down here. Check to make sure all the air's tied in. And then let's switch it forward. Alright, we got air at the back. And just by coming all the way back here, you can see that I've lost like half of the reception on the little remote here. And that's like maybe half a bar of difference between using the rear locomotive and connecting it to the front locomotive. But take any wins we can get at this point. Alright, now that I got my headset situated. Alright, the next thing we gotta do is... Has there always been a container crane here? It's best not to think about it. Alright, next thing we gotta do is get to this track right here. Alright, let's check out chat real quick. They do look cool, all things considered. Oh, and then those are all like individual like sandboxes. Which in theory would mean that we do not have much sand. But we kind of already knew that. It's also worth noting that with the real ones, there is a distinction between applying sand to the back and applying sand to the front. And you actually have to flip a switch if you want to apply sand to the leading edge. Although, without having any formal training, I would think that you would have the sand going to the leading edge by default, but apparently that's not the case. Because you have to specifically tell it to apply sand in front. Like, if we're spraying the sand behind the wheels, that's not doing anything as we're going down the track. It's helping the wheels behind it, but it's not doing anything for the wheels of the locomotive. So maybe it's not doing anything for that truck, is what I'm getting at. But I might just be not understanding how the system works. But to be completely honest, that is a very real possibility. Alright. We are getting... These 16 cars are almost out of that track. Alright. So we can go over here. Pop this back going right. And now we're past this one. So we can switch that back to the main. Hit the train brake, hit the independent brake. Alright, release that, put it in reverse. Throttle up. Kick off the independent. And let's get backed up to our nice little collection of rail cars over here. Alright, then we put this away. Actually, we can't put that away yet. E8 and C2. Alright, so we're going to have to go into C first. Alright, that's easy enough. It's just kind of funny that it would send it to the C track, because if you pay attention to the layout when you get to the harbor, you'll notice that the sea track is where tanks are unloaded, is like the liquid cargo loading and unloading. The D track is like the intermodal container cargo loading. E and G tracks, they seem to have like anything, and then F is passengers. Alright. But when you do like the shunting jobs at the harbor, for whatever reason, after you, like, say you unload the intermodal containers on the D track, you park them for storage on the C track. And then when you unload the tankers at C, you park them for storage at D. So it's kind of like, it's almost as if the loaded ones stay in that section, whereas the empty ones are moved to a different section to differentiate, so that at a passing glance, you immediately realize that okay, if this car is over on this side, it means it's empty. Or maybe there's no logic to it whatsoever, and it's just kind of like, yeah, that's just how the AI orients it. There's not really any meaning behind it. Well, I know even less about how to be a yardmaster than I do about how to drive these. So, maybe I'm just blowing smoke. Alright. Let's go forward. Alright, let's go over here. Wait, no, actually, we gotta be over there, because right here is the switch that I need. Alright. Okay. Hopefully that's not bothering me. Alright. So we gotta speed up a little bit, because we've got some weight. And we're tacking on another 10 cars. So it's only 26 cars? Yeah, 16 and 10. But they're not light. Even this one, which is the little one, is 570 tons. Okay, let's ease off on the throttle. We're not going nearly fast enough to cause a derailment. And since it's not even mixed cargo, it's literally all the exact same things, we're not even going to cause a string line derailment because of improper weight distribution. So this is like the best possible conditions for this run. Alright, let's start braking a little bit. Oh, nope, that's going to be a mistake. It's not going to do it. Alright, we hit it a little too hard. And we didn't even make it past the switch because of it. Let's line this back up with 3. That seems to be the place to go for inbound loads. Alright, now we are past the switch. I don't think the Independent's going to do anything for that. But it would be even less responsive if we were tied to the front locomotive. Oh, well. Doesn't help that we're trying to shove through the independent brake. It'll work eventually, but we kind of need those brakes. All right. Now, this is going to be a pretty good length of cars. Although, I need to be over here. Because we gotta go this way. No, 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 no. I want to be on the car. All right. That's iron, that's coal. Like, there's a crane there, but I don't see an unloading switch. Kind of funny that they set up the truck trailers like that, because I have never once seen a flatbed truck with the aerodynamic skirts on the side. You see them all the time on dry vans and reefers, but I've never seen a flatbed or container chassis with those. But to be fair, most of the stuff that you put on the flatbeds and intermodal chassis are heavy. So you want to save as much weight as you can. It probably would have been a good idea to slap the caboose on the end of this. But I think it'll be fine. speed up a little bit. Even though we're about to seriously regret that decision. But the good news is, once we get to the other side, all we gotta do is jump off on the other side of the bridge. Because that should give us enough of a lead up to make this hill, as long as we hit it fast enough. Alright. Matter of fact, let's start braking a little bit. Because this is going to be a lot of weight that's about to start rolling down this pretty fast. Now, this curve you can do like 50 around. That might have even said 60 back there, I didn't really catch it. And we can technically go 90 across this bridge. Although clearly we can't. That right there says we can go 50 to the right. This right here says we can go 60, so there's like, what, a 30-meter section where we can go 90? You'll have to forgive me, but I'm just not buying it. Like, that sign can be removed, in my opinion. Okay. Okay. We're gonna jump off right here. Alright. At least we're slowing down. Like, I've never worked on flat train cars before, so I don't know if they have the fairings like this. But I would imagine they could. Otherwise, you would have to have the like route cards and all that fun stuff up on the frame itself. It's not a bad place to put it, but I've just never worked on this type of car, so I don't know how they do it with those. I've worked on gondolas, hoppers, and log cars. And the log cars were kind of cool because that was the first time I've ever worked with robots. Well, my company had one robot. And I wasn't one of the people that was supposed to be working with it. It was like that guy was like sick that day, and I was a welder who understood how the process worked. And I was trained using that process so I could be the welder that not that I would supervise or oversee the robot, I would just be the person that was there that knew whether or not the robot was welding correctly. We might need to go back a little bit farther for this. Alright, let's change that, if we can reach it. Okay. Now let's go back over here. And let's hit the train brake, hit the independent. And we're going to find out if we've gone far enough. Alright, let's get up into the locomotive. To kick off the independent. Alright, we're rolling. I don't want to use too much of the throttle, because then we're going to start getting wheel slip. But you definitely don't want the throttle being too low going around this turn. Definitely got to be above, say, 35. Now you're probably thinking, well, it's only 16, or it's only, oh yeah. Alright. We don't want to go too fast, but we don't want to go too slow either. Let's check out chat really quick. Yeah, I know that the loading track is over on the A side. It was just, I was commenting on the fact that there's a crane right there, but you don't use it, it's just there. Alright. We got through the hardest part of the trip. I say that, but the rest of the way is uphill, just not as steep. Safely bump it up. It's not by any stretch the heaviest train, but it's not light either. And it's only 26 cars. So what can you do? So what I'm thinking I might do, I'll get these turned in, service the locomotives, and then I might try to make a run up to the military base, maybe. See if there's anything cool heading up that way. Although really I'll just take a look at the civilian station office at the harbor to see if there's anything cool going out this way, or maybe up to the machine factory. Just kind of get a feel for what's out there. And then if I don't see anything that I like, then I'll walk over to the military base and see if we can get up to the base up in the mountains. Let's dial it back a little bit. Let's dial it back some more. Hoping this isn't a 50. Nope, it's a 70. So let's keep dialing it back. We went downhill. Why are we picking up speed? Alright, let's give it some brake. Knock that off real quick. According to that, we're cresting a hill. So we shouldn't be speeding up. If anything, we should be slowing down. This game's weird sometimes. We've already started off by ranting about random bumps in the track that slow you down when there's nothing there. So now we just sit back and enjoy the ride. Or I could, in theory, just completely abandon my collection of D6s and go make a delivery using a steam locomotive. More involved, and since that's a big thing for me, being like involved with the process, like having hands on the controls. It's also why I like playing in VR, because for all practical purposes I am standing in the cab of what resembles a locomotive, and I'm using my hands to work the controls. I'm not clicking on the mouse. So it'll be another one of those things that's really cool with the simulator update, because they're replacing the controllers with hands. So it'll be like some other games. It sounds like it'll be similar to like VTOL VR, where you hover over like a certain type of control and it's contextualized so that the hand moves so that it actually looks like it's grabbing that type of control. At least that's the way that they kind of made it sound. So add that to the list of things I'm really excited about. Alright, keeping up a pretty decent speed, all things considered. Alright, so the current plan is we're going to go into the harbor, go around past the sea track, back into the sea track, back this up to C2I, and then we can pull forward to go back towards the west entrance, and then back up onto the E track, which is where the other one's going. Yeah, E8I. Let's knock that back a little bit. Getting up to the point where we're about to start going downhill again. And then it's pretty much all downhill from about this Y all the way to the harbor. And I generally prefer to go like 35 through there. Even though it has higher speed zones, not that, even though it has higher speed zones, it has a lot more that are only like 40. So you gotta be careful with it. Or at least that's how I choose to play. I'll wait until that we actually get the sandbox mode to start causing chaos. On my actual save, I guess I really could just back it up and then just overwrite the destroyed save with the good one, but I just never really felt like doing it. So with this being my good save that I've had since, if I remember correctly, we got wiped back to square one when Overhauled came out, because they changed so much stuff. We might get a derailment. Haven't heard the ping, so we're safe so far. But yeah, if I remember correctly, I think we got wiped back when Overhauled came out because they changed so much stuff with how the game works when they added the licenses and insurance and all of that fun stuff. So this save is from when Overhauled was launched. And it was kind of cool because shortly after Overhauled was launched, they started an application process where you could apply to be one of the beta testers on the development branch. And I applied, actually got accepted. And for like a week or two, I basically treated playing Derail Valley like a job, even though I wasn't getting paid. And I put like 70 hours in it at the time, all in VR. It was like the craziest thing. At least for me, anyway. So imagine my disappointment when you find out that they already have all of the testers they could ever need for the simulator update. So they didn't have post-accepting applications for this one. Since I kind of took like a break from playing the game for like a long time, and I didn't get back into it until I started wanting to work for the railroad in real life. Since I made that decision, I've been going crazy playing this and Train Sim World. And so I got back into this, and I've pretty much doubled my playtime once again. Still almost exclusively in VR. Alright, let's keep applying some brake. Don't want to get too fast in this area. So I like to keep it around 35. That seems to be a pretty safe speed to descend this hill. See, on one hand, I want to use the like boombox in the game, but for one, you only hear it when you're in close proximity to it, and I don't know whether or not the cassette tapes are copyrighted, so I don't know if I can play them while I stream. And as you probably know, I've recently gotten back into streaming when the last time that I live streamed was 2019. So it's been a minute. But I've had a pretty good streak going so far. I think this is like my second week of consistently streaming, sort of. Something like that. Alright, let's break again. We're not close enough to the harbor, but we're just temporarily starting to see the frame drop of when it spawns everything into the harbor. Since I have started streaming more often, specifically streaming Derail Valley of all things, I should probably pick a different base of operations, considering the harbor's kind of demanding. But, to be honest, the harbor is where you get a lot of pretty good jobs. Like every other industry, they have jobs, but they're all pretty much across the board. They are all smaller. But I've got a couple of routes that I generally like to do. Like, I'll go from the harbor to the steel mill, to the goods factory, to the military base, harbor to oil well central, city southwest, machine factory, back. Yep. That's a bad sound. Emergency stop. Okay, release the train brake so it can build up air pressure. I could just be getting paranoid, but I thought I heard the ping that something derailed. It was kind of funny when I was playing Train Sim World. The first time I found out that apparently the dynamic brake can cause a derailment in the rain, there was a ping sound effect for that too. And then I got the immediate prompt telling me that you derailed. Restarting the mission. Alright. Clearly I'm losing my mind, because it doesn't seem like any of these have derailed. So maybe I'm just hearing things? Nope, that's messed up, right there. Yep. Broke that one. And we broke the car too, so it's only at 92%, but still. Alright, let's grab the remote. Okay. It just shredded the independent brake. But to be perfectly honest, this is a lot of weight, and you want to hold it back with just the brakes in the two locomotives. It is kind of asking for a lot. Someday I would really like to figure out why I'm constantly having internet problems where I'm always connecting to my own chat. It's just perpetually loading and reloading. So I always get like the prompts saying, "You're now connected to chat." And then it's like, I'm the host. How did I disconnect? Alright. Alright. Release that. Release that. And we're rolling again. It's really, really weird because when I re-railed the cars, one of them was kind of like on top of the other one. So I wanted to try and use the automatic re-railing tool to see if that could fix it. Or I wanted to use the automatic coupling with the remote to see if that would straighten it out. It appears it did. Alright. Now, literally right here is another one of those, like, random dead zones, where if you don't have enough speed, it'll just, like, stop you dead in your tracks. But generally speaking, you don't want to come in here too fast either. Alright, let's grab my remote real quick, turn that on, and let's jump off the train. Now, the good news is, since we're back in the harbor, we have the caboose again. It's just over there, on the other side of these warehouses. It's parked on, like, the siding in front of the office. So we'll have more range on this. And we know the caboose is still here because it's like the only object that stays persistent. Although there is something I forgot to grab. I need this. And I need this. Alright. Now we can go forward. Now we have 1 DE6, a 2A2, and 2 DE2s, 3 if you count the one over there. Alright. So we have this Y intersection going back to the C track. But we want to back into the C track. And I didn't switch that out. I mean, it's pretty handy that I did it that way, but normally I would have switched it to the loading track so that I could turn around in there if I needed to. Oh wait, no, we gotta switch this to come in from the right. Because we're going to back up over to there and then back the rails into the inbound track right there. And something caused me to stop. Because we were doing like 18 and now we're doing like 3, and the rolling resistance isn't that bad. So there's probably another thing that's causing you to lose speed, like another speed bump, invisible wall, some kind of glitch in the track along this curve going out to the westbound entrance, or the west entrance to the harbor. But I'm really banking on the fact that all of this is on concrete, and in the posts that they've been making, they're showing that instead of being like up on ballast, they're going to be set into the concrete, and the tracks here are going to be padded. So just with that specific change, these areas will work better, in my opinion. But, like over here, this is all on dirt, so I don't think those will be changed. But, like, this area and probably all the way out to the east side, I think these will all be padded. Hopefully. Kinda like this, but not really. Similar, but still different. Alright, we are still aligned for the main. That should be the one thing I didn't change. Yeah. Right, left. Yeah, we're going down the main here. The thing I didn't think about is whether or not there's going to be enough space to back the full train up far enough to go out that side of the Y. Otherwise, we're going to have to make this into like a 3 or 4 point turn, and we're going to have to pull forward back the remaining 16 cars onto the loading track so we can get past that switch and pull out that way. But that's kind of just speculation until we get there. Is this the one that I damaged? Nope. It's not that one either. It's this one. So why did that one string line? Okay, let's kill the speed. Okay. We are past it. Okay. Let's throttle up real quick. And see if we can get this monstrosity backed up into the C lot. Let's check on chat really quick. I mean, in theory, we might be able to just go far enough back that we push the 10 cars back to the far edge of the inbound track. There might be enough space to clear this switch just by doing that. Let's see, how far back is this sign? Alright, this is C2I. So if I get it all the way back to this point, I might be far enough for it to not cause a problem. Because this is a rather lengthy track. No, not that one. This one. Yeah, we just need 10 cars. But we have 26. So the question is there enough space between this sign and that sign to fit 26 cars? I guess we will find out. Because it would be really cool if I didn't have to back, or I didn't have to pull forward back up into the loading track and do it that way. But I'm preparing myself for bad news. I should let it run a little bit longer because we have not gotten up to any amount of speed. And that's the other thing. This is pretty level ground for the most part. So we shouldn't be having too many difficulties in getting this backed up. Yeah, and then kind of see what I was talking about earlier. We have a random flat car in the liquid cargo area. And they use the flat cars for containers instead of like the well cars that you would normally see. And at least with like trucks, because that's what I have the most experience with, you can put containers on flatbed trailers, but it's generally not a good idea. Like, there's a better way to do it. Like, flatbed trailers are heavy enough by themselves, and the container chassis are just lighter. Alright, we got it all the way back. So, 533, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yeah, 871. It's right there. Alright, this is where we cut the cars. Okay, now let's go up here and see if we successfully cleared the... Well, that's depressing. Alright. We gotta do it the long way. We were so close to greatness. Oh well. Nope. Don't phase through the wall. Alright. Yeah, it's supposed to be 20 minutes. We did it in over an hour. Didn't damage the cargo, but we hurt the car. Alright. Okay. So, what we gotta do, we gotta pull forward. Past this switch. Back up onto the loading track. Back up far enough to clear that switch. And pull forward. Now, realistically, what we could have done to save ourselves from that amount of torment could have just taken off the lead locomotive, pulled it forward, drove this down that way with just the trailing locomotive, and then backed it up that way. But we do things the slow and kind of stupid way with this company, so we're just going to roll with it. The decision's been made, so now we're just going to deal with our mistakes. Alright, we are at an hour and a half. And we've only got half the train done. Alright, that is not getting 3 car lengths. That can get 3 car lengths. It's just like so weird because if you're trying to gauge the distance by looking at where the post is, that's not going to do it. Because the post is right there, but the track ends right there. Okay, so back up onto the loading track. And we gotta keep an eye on this end. Because we gotta be past this switch. Oh wait, no, not that switch. This switch. I would feel really dumb if I accidentally got it backwards and I was looking at this switch post when I should have been looking at this switch post. Might have to go back and rewind it just to see if that is the case. Or when I upload the, or when I export the video over to YouTube, I'll have to go back and watch around this time frame to see if I accidentally messed it up. Actually, I can save myself a lot of time by just walking over there and seeing where the back of these cars are relative to the other cars. Alright, we are clear. Now I'm kind of curious. Oh yeah. No, I did the right thing. Because we're almost a car length back. And even with that little extra bit of distance, I was in the right spot. No, no, no. We're going forward. So, in short, no, I did not make a stupid mistake. I did the correct thing. Now we gotta get past this switch so we can get lined up with the E-track again. And this one is going to E8 in. 8 should be on this side. Five, 6, 7, 8. It's more involved to flip the switches by hand. So I've been doing it more often lately. Sometimes the music in this playlist on Streamlabs gets a little bit weird. It's still like peaceful and relaxing, it's just the ones where it sounds like people are talking, but I can't always make out what they're saying. It's just like, when you actually pause to think about it, you're like, okay, this one's pretty weird. This is less relaxing and more murder mystery vibes. All right. All right. All right, now let's go over here. Bypass D, bypass F, go straight into E, turn right off of the main, and then turn right onto track 8. And I should probably make sure this track's empty. That's 9. Alright, good. There's nothing in 8. Alright, let's slow that down a little bit. Double check with chat really quick. Kill the throttle completely. And see if we can just coast back at this speed. Yeah, when the DE6s lose the ability to be remote controlled, I'm going to have to start bringing a DE2 and putting it on the back of my locomotives so that I can remote control that when we actually get to a yard. This weighs 38,000 kilograms. So yeah, it can... Now, let's see. These are pretty heavy. I don't know if that would be 57,000 kilograms. So it might actually have to go at the back with the caboose. Unless we're doing a logistics haul. No, those are on G. For some odd reason, I thought those were on F. Like, since when does the game intentionally put anything in the F lot? Alright, what do we got? This is like either argon or oxygen. Oh, no, it's nitrogen. Alright, so I don't think that's going to the steel mill. Let's see what these are. Oxygen. That's probably going to the steel mill. Actually, they both are probably going to the steel mill. And that's scrap metal, so chances are all 3 of these are going to the steel mill. So that might actually be a good thing for next time. Big train going to the steel mill. Alright, I gotta be over here because I need to be looking at this sign. Because this one is 16 cars. It's going to be pretty close to the end back there. Alright, let's keep checking on that. Alright, and then after we get these parked, we're going to run over to the service station. We're going to run over to the roundhouse and see if we can fit both of these in the roundhouse. I never tried it before, but supposedly it works. Alright. One car. Alrighty. Let's hit the train brake real quick. Hit the independent, knock off the train brake, go forward. Alright. Alright. Now, let's throttle up. Don't need notch 2 when we don't have cars. Alright, now we go over here, and we gotta get lined up back with the main in case we gotta fly through here again. Alright, and we're past that. So, back aligned with 6. Let's go turn this in. Alright, how's this one looking? Not even going to bother looking at the time it took me to do that, because I know it was way too long. Alright, now let's go back these things up into the roundhouse. And luckily, this is the way you want to face going into the roundhouse anyway. So turning around in the Y going into the C track is a really good, effective way of getting turned around. And if you use the loading track, you can turn around an entire train. I'm curious to see how they're going to change the DE6s. Is they're trying to make it so that you don't use these for switching cars inside of the yard. They want these to pretty much exclusively just be used to go over the road. Whereas, since I've had them unlocked, I've kind of stopped using the DE2 unless there's quite literally nothing else. And I kind of use these as like a general purpose, they'll do anything locomotive. And simply put, that's just not how they're meant to be used. but the DE2s are supposed to be really good on flat ground anyway. Alright, let's take a look at what our target looks like. Alright. Yeah, there actually might be enough space. This might work. And we have one DE6, L15. Alright, I need this switch. Oh god, it's freaking out. Get these refueled, and then we'll run over to the station and get an idea of what I'm going to be working on next time. It's 4 o'clock. A little faster. Probably one of the things I'm looking forward to most is the multiple unit servicing. Completely remove the guesswork, and you can just pull as many locomotives as will fit on the track, and then just rotate a knob to see how it goes. Let's remove that. Let's go up here and pair this instead. Because I'm going to turn this one off when I back up the other one. Because why use more fuel than you need to, you know? It was kind of funny that before they added the MU cables, the way you would do multiple units is you would be directly controlling one DE2 and then have the other one controlled with the remote. And then you would just bounce back and forth that way. Alright. We're stuck there. Let's hit the independent. Nope, we're not there yet. Okay. So, fully set the independent. Let's go up here, kill this, turn off the lights, and turn off the electricity. Phase through the wall and all of reality by relation, and refill the diesel. Need any sand. No water, coal, no body damage. The wheels are fine. Engine's fine. Okay. Alright, now let's keep a real close eye on this buffer. If this works, this will like permanently revolutionize how I play this game. Alright. Just like with the steel mill. Alright, that is really good to know. Alright. Turn off the lights. Turn off the brakes. Or turn off the electricity. And let's fill it back up. But yeah, this actually makes using multiple units a lot more bearable. Now I don't have to build my train every time. It is so weird. It was trying to mess with me before, and it had this one connected, but now it's back to being this one. The game hates me. There's no other explanation. Alright, no sand. Good on oil. Another thing I'll be curious about is if they're adding weather and storms. Are they going to add changes in like the ambient temperature and like seasons, stuff like that? 8627, 8653. So I guess the time that the back one was idling is comparable to how long this one was idling. Alright, now let's run over to the station and see what they got going for us. I'm thinking there's going to be at least 4 freight hauls going to the steel mill. Alright, gasoline, goods factory, machine factory, city southwest, food factory. Okay, here's one. No. What the? No, put that down. No. Go over here. Alright, there's the 2 scrap metals. Alright, what are the cryo-oxygen? Oh, nope, that's going to the machine factory. And this one... Okay, both sets of cryo-oxygen are going to the machine factory. Those are probably better options. And then we can also use the City Southwest ones as... Well, this one's nitrogen. That's going to the food factory. Yeah, I don't like going all the way up to the food factory. Oil Well Central... Sawmill? I swear I don't see those very often. Alright. So we can do another disappointing haul to the steel mill. Or we can carry oxygen to the machine factory. And we can also do like normal little switching things here in the yard, but where's the fun in that? And these are pretty light, so they're not just like thrown into orbit. Alright, one of them did get thrown into orbit. Oh, it's over here. Okay. So yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do next time. But since it's been about 2 hours, this is as good of a time as any to call it a day. So let me just reset my stopwatch, or yeah, I'm using it as a stopwatch. Put that away. Let's pay the fees real quick. And we still have $1.1 million. So, not doing bad. Alright, let's take a look. What is our copay looking like? Oh, our copay is more money than I have in my wallet, so yeah, if I do anything to cause like chaos or destruction, it's coming out of me directly. So that's going to wait until after the simulator update. Alright, double check. Chat. Oh. Hello. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Alright. Well, thank you all for watching, and have a nice day.